Hello, for anyone out there new to D&D, I wanted to quickly go through my character binder. This is something that I take with me to every D&D session that I play, and it just houses all of the information about my character that I want to have ready and easily accessible during game. And I just wanted to show you what I put in here just to give you some ideas on how to organize that information, because let's be honest, D&D has a ton of information you're supposed to be keeping track of as you play, and I'm not great at that. So I like to have it really easy to find and organize the way that I like it. So this is how I do it. The very first sleeve is my current active character sheet. I like to handwrite mine, and I do it in pencil because things change during gameplay. I might get more money and I need to change these amounts or my temporary hit points, things like that. So I always write it in pencil, and then every time I level up, I end up redoing the whole thing and writing it all out. It's the way that I like to do it. There are other options like D&D Beyond where you could do it all online and then it prints it out for you. I just prefer the handwritten version. Do what works for you. But I keep that right here in this first pocket. And then I've got tabs in here where I organize things. The very first tab is the background information on my Dungeon Master's homebrew planet that we're playing on. And I like to have this front and center, easy to access, so that if I ever need to reference something, it's right here, ready to go. I also have a map, a world map here, which comes in handy. My next tab, the character that I play is a druid, so she is a caster, and these are her cantrips and spells. I purchased this deck off of Etsy for just a couple of dollars, and it's all of the druid spells, and I printed them myself, cut them out, put them in these little sleeves, and they're just easy to get to and reference. I separate them by level, and I alphabetize them so that I can find everything that I need. Now, before I did the cards, I do just want to say I used to copy and paste the descriptions of the spells into a Word document, and I did it again by level and then alphabetized, and I was just using that to flip through, and that worked just as well. Every time I leveled up, I just updated that document, took out any spells I was no longer using, put in any new spells that I was using, so on and so forth, reprinted it. And so every time I leveled up, I just redid that. I wanted this system so that I could just swap out these cards and I wouldn't have to reprint that each and every time that I leveled up. So this is so far proving to be an easier, more convenient system for me, but you could do it either way. If you are a caster, trust me, you're gonna want the spells that you have prepared very easily accessible. You don't want to be flipping back and forth through the player's handbook or having to Google or look up everything every time. It's just so much easier to have it like this. So this is what works for me. You do what works for you. My next tab, my character is a druid, so she has wild shapes as well. She can turn into different creatures. And I purchased this deck also off of Etsy from the same seller that I bought the spell deck from. And she organizes them so well. I just love how the information is laid out on here. And I alphabetize them, and I only put wild shapes in here that my character can actually currently turn into, just so I wouldn't get confused if I had ones in here that the challenge rating was too high, for example, or my character is not at a level high enough to do flying creatures. So I didn't put any of those in here, just the animals that I'm able to turn into. So you could do that any way that you want to. I like the card system. So my next tab is a bunch of the background information on my character. So everything about her race, her class, all of that stuff. I wanted it easily accessible again, so I didn't have to flip back and forth through the player's handbook whenever I had a question or was confused about something. I'd have it right here. So this first sheet includes her race, class, background, and alignment, a description of what she looks like, and then her backstory. I've also got some visual references here. I pulled out some key characters from her backstory and their names, just so I would have that easy to reference when I needed it. Then I have the information about tieflings here because that is what she is, so I wanted that easily accessible to reference. Then I did the druid information. Again, how I found all of this stuff, I just copied and pasted it. I just went into Google and typed in druid 5e. 5e meaning 5th edition, which is what the version of D&D that my table plays. And anytime I did that, I could get all of this stuff and just copied and pasted it and printed it separately so that I could find it very easily. So that's all the druid stuff. My character is also Fey touched, so I wanted to make sure I had that information to reference. She has a smuggler background, so that's what's here. And then lastly, she is a Circle of the Stars druid, so I printed all of that stuff as well. Again, I just wanted it easy. If in a battle I forgot what her starry form does exactly, I have it right here to easily reference without having to look it up on Google or whatever. I already forgot this was in here. So the next tab is where I keep notes on the members of my party that I'm playing with. This is actually a silly little wanted poster that happened in our last session, goofy. So each NPC in my party has their own page, and I just sort of take notes as I learn more about them. And these notes in particular, I'm taking from my character's point of view. I might know more about them from a meta standpoint as a player, but I just want to keep track of what my character knows about them so far. So that's what these pages are for, so I can kind of flip through and remember that, oh, I know that as a player, but my character doesn't know that, and vice versa. Then I have a sleeve with just blank character sheets in it. You always need those handy. Oh, and then these are just the cantrips and spells that I'm not currently using, but I have them on standby, separated by level. Then I have a backup character, 1 or 2 of them already set up, ready to go, just in case DM forbid that something were to happen to my character. If she were to perish, I have backup characters ready to go. I think this is always a good idea because you never know what could happen. And what else do I have in here? Oh, I do a lot of one-shots around town. It's a funny sentence to say. And I like to keep the character sheet so I can kind of think about that and reminisce about how much fun I had and that sort of thing. So I keep those in here too. Oh, and then this last sleeve, these are just all of my old character sheets. So levels 1 through 3 for my current character. I keep these just in case I need to reference something on here. Eventually I'll throw those out. But yeah, so that is the binder that I bring with me to the table when I play D&D. That's how I keep organized and on top of what my character can do. And it just helps me during gameplay so that I'm not flipping through 100 different manuals and Googling and all of that stuff. So hopefully that was helpful to anyone who's new to D&D, gave you some ideas for organizing your character information. And play on.